The Bloom's-Banks matrix is a tool to use for incorporating authentic multicultural experiences in your lessons for your students. It's called the Bloom's-Banks matrix because, as you can see on the top, you have Bloom's taxonomy. As you continue to go further to the right, the thinking that you are asking your students to do becomes more complex. The left column of the matrix indicates the 4 different approaches. As you continue to go further down in this matrix, the approaches become more authentic and real for the students. So let's start out with level 1, the contributions approach. This approach focuses on heroes, holidays, and discrete cultural elements. In this approach, ethnic content is limited primarily to special days, weeks, and months related to ethnic events and celebrations. Cinco de Mayo, Martin Luther King's birthday, and African American History Week are examples of ethnic days and weeks celebrated in the schools. During these celebrations, teachers involve students in lessons, experiences, and pageants related to the ethnic group being commemorated. When this approach is used, the class studies little or nothing about the ethnic group before or after the special event or occasion. Level 2 is the additive approach. This includes content, concepts, themes, and perspectives that are added to the curriculum without changing its structure. The additive approach allows the teacher to put ethnic content into curriculum without restructuring it, a process that would take substantial time, effort, training, and rethinking of the curriculum and its purposes, nature, and goals. The additive approach can be the first phase in a transformative curriculum and to integrate in with ethnic content, perspectives, and frames of reference. However, this approach shares several disadvantages with the contributions approach. Its most important shortcomings is that it usually results in the viewing of ethnic content from the perspectives of mainstream historians, writers, artists, and scientists because it does not involve a restructuring of the curriculum. Level 3 is transformation. The structure of the curriculum is changed to enable students to view concepts, issues, events, and themes from the perspectives of diverse ethnic and cultural groups. So in this approach changes the basic assumptions of the curriculum and enables students to view concepts, issues, themes, and problems from several ethnic perspectives and points of view. The mainstream-centric perspective is one of only several perspectives from which issues, problems, concepts, and issues are viewed. Level 4 is a social action approach. In this approach, students make decisions on important social issues and take actions to solve them. The social action approach includes all of the elements of the transformation approach, but adds components that require students to make decisions and take actions related to the concept, issue, or problem studied in the unit. Major goals of instruction in this approach are to educate students for social criticism and social change and to teach them decision-making skills. To empower students and help them acquire political efficacy, the school must help them become reflective social critics and skilled participants in social change. The traditional goal of school has been to socialize students so they would accept unquestioningly the existing ideologies, institutions, and practices within society and the nation state. So let me explain this matrix, how Bloom's and Banks, when melded together, how this matrix works. So the lowest cell is knowledge and contributions. The highest and most substantive cell is evaluation and social justice. This is the cell in which all students and teachers are urged to reach, especially since instruction on this level and within this quadrant enables students to engage in the highest level of critical or evaluative thinking and multiculturalism. This matrix has been color-coded to help visually. Quadrant 1, which is knowledge comprehension application and contributions and additive, is low on Bloom's taxonomy and Banks' multicultural level. The content provided within this quadrant rarely provides students with multicultural growth and substance. Instruction is very common, and many students may have been exposed to the similar information in previous settings. When low on Bloom's taxonomy and low on Banks' multicultural levels, gifted students may not be challenged in either way. The majority of lesson plans appear to be in this quadrant, according to Ford, both colorblind or not culturally responsive and lacking rigor. Quadrant 2 includes analysis, synthesis, and evaluation, and contributions and additive. In this quadrant, it's high on Bloom's taxonomy but low on Banks' Banks multicultural levels. In this quadrant, gifted students use critical thinking and problem solving with superficial multicultural content. Ford contends that this quadrant is common in gifted education, which she equates to being colorblind. Quadrant 3 includes knowledge, comprehension, application, transformation, and social action. This quadrant is low on Bloom's taxonomy, but high on Banks' multicultural levels. In this quadrant, little critical thinking and problem solving are involved. However, students are provided with the opportunity to view cultural events, concepts, and themes through the lens of others. Social action may take place, but it is not likely to have much impact. The curriculum provided to students elaborates on events, facts, and characteristics of culturally different groups, enabling them to become more aware of and gain additional and meaningful knowledge about different groups. The thought processes required in this quadrant are higher than the yellow and red quadrants. Here, the cultural rigor is substantive. Finally, quadrant 4 is where we aim to be: analysis, synthesis, evaluation, transformation, and social action. This quadrant is high on Bloom's taxonomy and high on Banks' multicultural levels. In this quadrant, students think critically, solve problems, and review a multitude of multicultural topics, issues, and themes, and they seek to make social change in some way. Curriculum is rigorous and relevant, and students think and solve problems at the highest level. They are exposed to content that validates non-white individuals and groups. This is a more impactful quadrant for all students. Now that you've been exposed to Bloom's Banks matrix, think about your own lessons. Where did they show up on here? You will see this matrix again at the end of the course, as you may use it for your artifact in your portfolio assignment.